All right. I believe my audio is good. Anyway, guys, as you know, well, as of right now, as I'm standing, no one's like called it, but it's pretty much a wrap. I believe they actually did. They just did. I have several screens here. Like Fox News has called it. I think ABC News has called it. But Donald Trump has gone over the 270 mark. He's president elect. Right? It's a wrap. Um, he's won the presidency. So now we're going to see a lot of crying in the Clinton side, and we're going to see a lot of cheering in the Donald Trump side. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. All right. Now look, here's the thing. Right. Out of everyone that was running, I mean, if it was up to me, Gary Johnson would be the winner. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen. Right? Gary Johnson's not going to be elected. Okay. But that's who I felt was the most qualified out of all of them that were running. Um, I don't think much of Hillary Clinton. I don't think much of Donald Trump. Right. But what I will say is this. So as I'm looking at it, nothing really shocked me other than the Midwest. The Midwest was such an outlier here as far as according to the polling, it's not even funny. The polling got the Midwest so wrong. They got everything else pretty much spot on. So, for example, all the northern states pretty much got right. The southern states that got right. Florida, in the polling, I saw some polls have Hillary ahead, some had Trump ahead within margin of error. They both could have won. Florida was pretty close, right? North Carolina, um, I think he pulled a slight upset there, but he definitely won that handily. Virginia was closer than expected, but she did win it. She won California handily. She won New York handily. She won Washington. There was a lot of states that were easy to call, I believe. The ones that I felt were easy to call, but obviously we were wrong. Almost everybody was wrong. Was definitely the Midwest. All right. So what do I mean by the Midwest? Pennsylvania, right? Just everything from let's start with Pennsylvania, Ohio, not Illinois in this case, but I mean she was expected to win Illinois for sure. But just Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, even. It looks like she's going to win Minnesota, but it's very, very close. Like the fact that it's competitive, it's unbelievable. And who knows? He might even pull that off, right? It looks like he won. He's definitely gonna. They're not calling Michigan. I don't know why. It's over, right? Wisconsin. I think CNN still hadn't called Wisconsin. The shit's ridiculous. That shit. It's been over. The fact that they haven't called that. But anyway, a lot of these states they should have called it a long time ago. But whatever. Better safe than sorry, I guess. Right? In my opinion, they just want to hold on to that shit for ratings. But hey, whatever. Right? But anyway, here's the thing. I thought, look, there's a good chance he could win Florida and North Carolina, right? So regardless of anyone who comes to me and says, I knew he was going to win Florida. Look, we were all guessing. Okay, we knew it was, and it was close, right? The same with North Carolina. Ultimately, he won pretty handily, but until 90% of the votes, it was pretty close, right? But whatever. But I felt there's a good shot he could win North Carolina and Florida. I felt Ohio was a foregone conclusion. He was going to blow around in Ohio. That happened, right? We kind of saw that coming, right? Maybe not that wide, but we saw it coming. I mean, she tried those last minute rallies there. There were a waste of time. She should have been, by the looks of it, she should have been in Wisconsin. She should have been in Michigan, not in fucking Ohio. That was a waste of time. It was a bad calculation. Anyway, why, when I look at everything, the real shocking parts are definitely the Midwest, right? I mean, this was throughout, and now I never quite seen something like this to where, yeah, he's winning those states, but they're all pretty close though. Like collectively, he's going to pick up all those electoral points, but it's close, right? This is crazy. Now here's the thing. I shouldn't have been shocked. Let me tell you why. And I didn't say this on video, so I can't claim it, but I did tell some people I know. And I said, look, Michigan, she was ahead in the polls in Michigan, and Bernie Sanders destroyed her in Michigan, right? Well, it was close, but you know what I mean. When you're 30 points behind in the polls and you win, that speaks volumes, all right? She got beat by Bernie Sanders, and I remember the media called it one of the biggest upsets ever, that Sanders came back and beat her in Michigan, right? But here's the thing. In those debates, and I remember, Bernie Sanders hit home about NAFTA and the trade deals, right, that were signed by both parties, and her husband was the one that passed NAFTA, right? Now, what is the importance of this? The importance of this is, of course, someone who's anti-trade deals that we have, anti-NAFTA, who ran through that and reminded a lot of these people about how they were once the envy of the middle class of the world, and they no longer are it. It is not shocking whatsoever that she lost these states. And I can't remember the last candidate in a general election since the Clinton years. There hasn't been one that ran with that model. The only example we have, the only thing we can look at and say, well, look, he beat her in Wisconsin, right? Bernie Sanders did. He beat her in Michigan. It shouldn't have been shocking. This should have not been a shocker. These should have been swing states. And I believe that the last minute, I don't know if you guys saw those ads, okay? And look, this is not coming. If by now, I would hope everybody knows I'm not a Donald Trump supporter, right? I'm not. But you know what was damaging about those last minute ads that they just poured in the Midwest, especially like they poured it in Michigan for sure. What was damaging about those ads, right, was that they were true. There was nothing that was not true in those ads. Everything was factual. When they were talking about the trade deals that they were doing, and the response was terrible by the Clinton team. What did they do? They said, "Oh, it was an anti-Semite, ad." What? Why was it anti? Look, if I missed it, then I missed it, right? It wasn't an anti-Semite ad. Get the fuck out of here, right? It was an effective ad. It was. He stayed on message the last 3 days in those states. I don't think they saw it coming in Wisconsin, but they were campaigning in fucking Michigan, right? The last few days, they saw it coming, right? Now it's going to be interesting what happens, right? Because here's the thing, right? I honestly believe this, and you could say what you want, all right? But 4 years from now, and I said this before, I said, I don't care who wins this election. They're going to get their asses handed in 2020, right? They're going to get their asses handed to them so fucking hard in 2020, it's not even funny, right? I figured. I thought, So here's the thing. If these people believe that they're going to have their jobs back, right? This is one of those situations where I actually hope I'm wrong, right? But if they believe they're going to have their jobs back, like they're going to get all the jobs back from China and Mexico and give it all back to them, right? If they actually believe that's going to happen, if that's going to happen, they're out of their minds, right? It's not going to happen. You're not going to get your jobs back. Like, I'm very sorry to say, like, it's terrible What happened? You know, during the 90s and on all that. Okay, what happened with NAFTA? It's a terrible thing, right? I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying those moves can be made, but this is a Republican Congress and a Republican Senate. It's not going to happen. Like, I'm telling you that right now, right? All these policies that these people voted against were policies that the Republicans wanted for years. It's just that Clinton, who posed as a progressive, was actually a center-right candidate, got these things done, right? So I believe what's going to happen is the following, right? Call me crazy, but I think the following is going to happen. Trump isn't going to scrap NAFTA. He's going to claim that he renegotiated the deal, but he's not really going to do anything. He's going to claim I still believe TPP is going to pass if Obama doesn't do it, which I hope he fucking doesn't, right? But if he doesn't do it, Trump's going to do it, right? I don't know I don't think anybody knows what type of a Supreme Court justice Donald Trump is really going to pick. It's going to be right wing for sure, but I don't know if it's going to be as right wing as it would have been if Ted Cruz was a nominee, for example. I don't think it's going to be that right wing, right? But anyway, my message is this, and it's a clear message to all the liberals and progressives out there and this, that, and the third, right? First of all, let's not kid yourselves, okay? Stop kidding yourselves. It's not like Donald Trump just defeated a very progressive candidate, right? Let's not act like, even if you feel Trump is worse, that Clinton would have been that much better. Okay, so stop acting like it would have been that much of a difference. Okay, stop acting like how could the country not have seen how great Clinton was? You know, let's stop pretending, right, that was the case, right? That's number one. Let's stop pretending like she was this huge, progressive or something. That's just not true, right? It's not. The reason Donald Trump won was because of the Midwest. Look, if you would have told me that Clinton was going to win Nevada and not be president, I would have said there's no way, right? Because I felt like Michigan and Wisconsin was going to go away. I just did, right? I was obviously wrong about that. Many people were wrong. And look, a lot of Trump supporters are talking all this shit, but it's cool. Some of you guys had Trump winning New Jersey, and some Trump supporters were saying that he was going to win New York. Some Trump supporters even called Vermont for fucking, that he was going to win Vermont. I heard Washington. All right. I think I saw a Trump supporter say that he was going to easily win Colorado. So you guys were wrong about a lot of states too, right? Let's not kid ourselves. So yeah, I was wrong about Wisconsin. I was wrong about Michigan, Pennsylvania. The middle. I was wrong about Minnesota. I thought Minnesota was going to be a foregone conclusion. I did, but it wasn't. It was very competitive, and Trump may even he still has a shot. He's an underdog in Minnesota, but he could do it, right? That's what determined this election. And the reason I'm doing this video is because it's very important, because I'm seeing a lot of liberals, right? Especially, the Democrats. I'm seeing a lot of them on social media, right? Claiming that, saying things like, I didn't know there was so many racists in this country. And I didn't know we had so many bigots in this country, right? Now, look, I'm not going to pretend like no Trump supporter is a bigot, no Trump supporter is a racist, but that's not why he won the Midwest, right? He won the Midwest because these people have been hurting for decades. That's why he won it. It had nothing to do. That's not the reason he won those states. Right? If it was true that there was just this big population of very racist people, that trend would have followed everywhere. It would have happened in Nevada. It would have happened in Virginia. It would have happened in New Jersey, New York. It would have happened in all those states. Michigan and Wisconsin are blue states, just like New Jersey is, right? But there's something specific about those states and the people that live in those states, right? That they hate the trade policies of this country. Now, do I think Trump's going to do anything about it? No, I don't, right? But they believe, hey, let's see what this guy's got, right? Let's see what he's got. Okay, what's happening now isn't working, so let's see what this guy's got. That's basically what it is, all right? So here's the thing. These things are true. Hillary's a corrupt politician. She just is. You can't, there's no way you could be objective and claim that she's not, all right? She is a corrupt politician. She's in bed with Wall Street, all right? She does cater to her donors just like everybody else does. That's the reality, all right? That's the truth. A lot of you guys agreed when Bernie Sanders was saying it. Now, Bernie Sanders was insinuating it, like release the speeches. You know, why are you saying one thing behind closed doors and something else outside of the doors? Why are you two different people, basically? He was doing it in a nice way, right? Trump was just being blunt about it, and it worked. And it worked. If you want to argue with me that it didn't work, look at the result tonight and look at those specific states. If she would have kept those states, we'd be talking about President Hillary Clinton right now, right? But she didn't, right? And it's the lasting effects of those trade deals. I'm telling you, that's what it is, right? And if Trump doesn't do anything about the trade deals, they're not going to vote for him next time. They're just not. So does this mean the end? I heard a lot of people saying this is the end of polling, right? Polling is like anything else, okay? It's an estimate. I would argue that if you remove the Midwest and set it aside, they were pretty spot on and everything else, right? Now, Utah, you can say that they got Utah kind of wrong too. But when it comes to Utah and the Midwest, they were definitely wrong in that because it was even in the primaries they got it wrong, right? For Hillary versus Sanders, that is. They got it wrong. That Hillary had 30% and she lost that state in the primaries, right? So there was something that the polling did not catch there, okay? Everything else they got it right. They got Nevada right. They said New Hampshire was going to be tight and extremely close. That's what we have. They said Florida was basically a 1%, you know, with a 3% margin of error. They got that pretty much spot on, right? So everything, for the most part, was pretty spot on. It was just those, and it was enough states to make a big difference. There's no doubt about it, right? So right now, you're going to have politicians on both sides of the aisle starting to study those states, okay? And you have to wonder, where does the Democratic Party go from here? Because they got their asses handed to them, okay? The Democrats, okay, the Republicans got the Democrats, right? Okay, laid them on their lap, face down, and just slapped the shit out of them tonight, right? They literally just did. FDR is rolling on his fucking grave right now, right? Thinking to himself, why? When I was president, I helped create the freaking middle class, right? We were the party of the unions. We were this was, you know, he's rolling in his grave. They lost it all, folks. So now, hey, you reap what you sow, man, right? You reap what you sow, right? So like I said it once, I'll say it again, right? Now, one thing I want to say before I say that, I keep hearing people say, oh, the Latinos didn't show up. Look, let me tell you something, right? They did show up, right? They did show up. Like they showed up. Latinos were expected to show up and win Nevada. That's what they were expected to do. And they did. Okay? They showed up big in Nevada. So you can't blame it on the Latinos, right? Okay, like the percentage of voters for Latinos went up. Like, what else do you want? Right? It didn't come down to that. It came down to the Midwest. That's what it came. The Midwest determined this election. That decided the election, right? Period. And what I don't want is for everybody just to assume that those people voted for Trump just because they're a bunch of bigots and racists, okay? That's not the case because that's not what we're seeing nationally, right? If that was the case, he would have won every fucking state, right? There is that specific demographic in the Midwest, right, that has just been waiting for this day to stick it to the establishment that took away their jobs and shipped them to China and Mexico and Taiwan and everywhere else, right? That's what this is. And anyone who says otherwise is a fool. Well, why didn't it happen in 2012? Because Romney was Republicans were all about free trade. They always have been. Right? It was the Democrats for years in the 80s and early 90s that were stopping the Republicans from, creating these fucking abysmal trade deals. Right? These trade deals were not a progressive thing to do. They just weren't. Why do you think Bernie Sanders voted against them? Right? Just the fact that Bernie Sanders voted against the bailouts, okay, just the fact that Bernie Sanders voted against these, horrendous trade deals, won him Michigan, just off of that alone, right? So there is a good portion of Trump supporters that just genuinely believe he's going to do good things for this country, or they feel, hey, why not let's just see what he's got. Let's give him a shot, right? That it's not all racists and bigots. It's not, right? And if you keep telling yourself that, you're going to lose again in 4 years, right? If you keep telling yourself that bullshit, that's not what you want. It's not, right? So we got to keep that in mind. And no, like look, I'm hearing other dumb shit like, oh, well, she lost because, everybody just stayed home. And look, it's her job to get people out to vote. You know what I mean? And if people don't, look, if someone, I'm tired of people, stop giving people shit because they didn't go out to vote, right? Like, yeah, I get it. It's your right to do it. And people fought for your right. Look, let me tell you something, okay? If you look at Hillary and Trump and say, well, I don't give a fuck about any of them, okay? Do you really blame them? Like stop fucking acting like all high and mighty and you're at fault because Trump won because you didn't go vote. Like, shut up, okay? Just shut up. I'm actually glad Jill Stein didn't do that good. Okay, just so I don't hear the fucking bitching and complaining. Oh, Jill Stein causes the election. Like, shut up, right? People should go vote for if there's you vote for who you think should be the president of the United States, right? That's who you vote for. You don't vote against somebody. You vote for somebody, right? So stop giving people shit if they voted Gary Johnson or Jill Stein or if they voted for fucking Ralph Nader in 2000. Stop giving them shit, right? Anyway, or if they don't want to fucking vote because they don't like any of the fucking candidates, okay? Then that's their issue. Leave them alone, right? Now, is Trump actually going to do what he says he's going to do? Right now, all right, is Trump really going to create the wall? Well, if he does create the wall, I'm literally going to live, I'm going to be a 5-minute walk from the fucking wall. Well, not 5-minute drive, 5-minute drive from the wall, right? Probably 30-minute walk, 20-minute walk, I don't know, all right? I'll be able to see the wall. Right? I don't know if I want to see a wall, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. Right? I don't think this wall is going to happen. I don't think Mexico's going to pay for it. I don't know. I don't believe he's going to bring back all these jobs he's saying he's going to bring back. He's going to have a hard time, okay, getting a lot of these businessmen, convincing them to bring back jobs to the United States, pay people more money, okay, per hour, give them benefits on top of that, right? And he's going to have a very hard time doing it. When a lot of these business owners are Republican, he's going to have a very difficult time doing that. And I will say this, though. I will say this. If Trump actually fights for this, like if Donald Trump literally fights to get jobs back from China and like freaking whatever, Mexico, and wants to bring them back and, put them in Michigan or whatever, and he actually genuinely fights for it and manages to make it happen, I would be extremely shocked. I'll be the first one to come on here and say I was completely wrong. The motherfucker did it. He somehow found the way and he did it. Right? He was right. Yeah, all right. Right? I would be the first one to do it. Right? Because if there's one issue, Donald Trump was to the left of Hillary, it was trade, as far as what they were saying. Okay? That's what I think. So with that said, I don't know what else is going to happen here. There's rumors that he's going to pick Rudy Giuliani to be the attorney general, right? Look, Trump's going to run into some issues, man. And let me tell you some of the issues I see, okay? Number one, anyone who believes in the Constitution, right, and the constitutional rights and all that, I know you probably feel like, okay, I'm going to keep my gun now. I have my gun and all that. That's cool. I got you, right? Yeah, I believe in the Second Amendment too. But I believe in the other amendments as well, right? There's no doubt in my mind, okay, they're going to be spying on fucking mosques. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to be spying on Muslims. Okay, there's no doubt in my mind, okay, that they're going to be spying on minorities. There's no doubt in my mind, right? There's a high probability that a lot of these body cams from police officers are going to be no longer be mandatory, right? I think our military is going to get more militarized. They're already getting more militarized. But what I'm saying is there's nothing that's going to stop it now or reverse that, right? A terrorist attack is going to be imminent. So what is Donald Trump going to say when a terrorist attack happens? How is he going to respond to that? How is he going to react to? How is he going to treat certain groups when a terrorist attack happens? And if they keep happening, what is he going to say if he can't keep America safe? See, now he's going to be the one that's being on the defensive. A big advantage he had as someone who was never a politician, all that, was he was always given the benefit of the doubt. Right? He was an unknown. He was we don't know how he's going to do or whatever. Now we're going to know how he's going to react. Okay, we're going to know. What is he going to do about ISIS? I'm actually interested to see when he says, I'm going to hit ISIS so hard, they're going to make I'm going to make their head spin. I'm curious to see what that is. I really hope it's not more bombings and more killings of innocents in the Middle East that we're seeing right now. Okay? And I hope it's not amplified. Is he really going to pull out the troops of countries of allies of ours if they don't, quote unquote, pay up? Right? Well, what are we going to do about freaking North Korea? I have no idea. What's going to happen with it? Are we going to end up invading Iran? I don't know. Right? It's going to be very interesting to see how all this plays out. Right? Also, is Donald Trump really going to be running the country, or is it going to be Mike Pence? Like I'm guessing is going to be the case. A little similar to when George Bush wasn't really running the country, it was Dick Cheney, right? The Warhawks in the Pentagon, I know for a fact, love Hillary. How do they feel about Trump? I have no idea. Okay, I just don't know, right? Well, the Warhawks probably love him, right? But it's going to be very interesting. What happens if Donald Trump, as commander in chief, says, "Hey, rip Geneva Convention, forget about it. We're not going to be stupid no more. We're going to fight smart. We're going to, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. How about we just start fucking whatever? Let's just kill the family of terrorists, right? Does Trump, do Trump supporters, do just Americans in general understand the consequences of that, right? Do you like? I don't know if they do. I just don't. All right. Because if you think you're going to kill terrorism by causing terror, then you're mistaken, right? That you kill innocent people, to target them, to show ISIS with how strong and tough we are, right? If you don't think that's going to encourage more men in the Middle East to join in arms with ISIS, I don't know what to tell you, right? What is Trump's relationship with Putin? I don't know, right? I have no idea what Trump's relationship is going to be with Putin, right? And for everyone who thinks it's a good thing, well, I guess we'll wait and see, right? Palling up with Putin, I don't know if that's a really good thing, okay? Something tells me Putin is a very happy camper right now, right? Well, we'll see. Now, I don't know. Will the WikiLeaks continue to leak more Hillary shit, or is it just going to conveniently end all of a sudden? I don't know, right? But it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be drama inauguration night when Obama's there while Donald Trump is being sworn in. I think it's going to be a very awkward moment. Something tells me that's going to be a very, very, very awkward moment. Okay, so let me just end with this. Okay, all you Democrats out there, you remember when you thought it was all cute, right? You remember how cute you were when Obama was out there talking about, oh yeah, are you down with TPP? Yeah, you know me. You know who's not down with TPP? The Midwest. They're not down with TPP, right? They're not down with TPP at all, right? They're not down with these trade deals whatsoever, right? So if you're wondering what the fuck happened, it's pretty easy to see what happened. It's not a coincidence that it was all the Midwest blue states that turned red, right? I mean, it wasn't even like a random, like, like Vermont or like just random states scattered around. No. It was literally that one region, right? That's what it was. And it showed up, It's going to be interesting how it all plays out, but there's no doubt it is President Trump. I am glad to see that the Trump supporters don't question, the way we elect presidents. All of a sudden, they think, it's all good, and it is. It is legitimate. And as you can see, half of the country doesn't want this dude to be president, but he is, right? And let me end it with this, right? Let me end it with this. To all the Hillary supporters, right? Especially the cocky ones, right, that didn't listen when we told you, right? Shit like the Wall Street speeches, okay? Shit like working with the DNC to screw over Bernie Sanders, right? To like all those things, right? That say we don't need Bernie Sanders supporters or Let me take that a step further. Bernie Sanders supporters should jump on board and just accept, the results, right? Well, how do you like me now, right? Because let me tell you this right now, right? Michigan, Wisconsin, all right? Pennsylvania, maybe not Ohio, not even Iowa, right? Although Iowa was more over there, but Bernie Sanders wins those states. He just does. Okay? You know why? Because he voted against these fucking disastrous trade deals, right? That's why. So Trump couldn't run that ad against Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders could have done a counter ad, right, where he's on the floor of Congress arguing against these trade deals. When he's in the floor of Congress, okay, going against Bill Clinton and the Republicans when they fucking passed that shit, right? NAFTA, right? When he was arguing against the bailout of Wall Street. You see, he couldn't pull that card. Hillary couldn't do that, could she? No, because Hillary was in private rooms with Wall Street, right? That's why she couldn't say shit, because it was true, right? Because it's true. So anyway, with that said, I am done, right? I am. There's a little bit of like a surprise feeling. It's kind of it's just sinking in, like Trump is president elect. It's kind of strange. It really is. But let me tell you, the industries are going to have a field day with this, and they're very happy about this. Okay, number one, progressive alternative media is going to have big growth. Okay, MSNBC, it's going to work out for them because they're going to be the rebel network that goes against Trump or whatever, right? Comedians are going to have a field day here. Saturday Night Live, the whole nine, right? It's going to be quite the circus for the next 4 years. It's going to be, I think we could all agree, it's going to be entertaining, right? You don't have to like it. I'm not saying it's going to be good or bad. I'm just saying it's going to be entertaining, right? I know there's a lot of like fear mongering going on regarding the Trump presidency. All I have to say is this, okay? There wasn't that much of a difference between the two, right? I know a lot of people think that we're like vastly different. On some issues they are, but overall it's not that big of a difference, right? It's not. Like, I get it. It is Trump, so it's kind of weird saying that. But I'm just saying, there was, like, Hillary had more differences with the other Republicans than Trump, right? I'm just saying. What's going to happen with healthcare? What's going to happen with Obamacare? Is he going to say that he renegotiated the Affordable Care Act, or is he really going to repeal it? We got to see. I don't know. Could you imagine that he keeps the Affordable Care Act? Because that shit's gone. I hope everybody understands this. That shit is gone, right? Republican Senate, Republican House, Republican President. If he can't get shit done, like all the shit he promised, with all that, I don't know what to say, right? So day one, he said he was going to repeal Obamacare. So it's not going to happen day one. That's inauguration day the whole night, but maybe day two, right? Day two, and then it's got to go to Congress, all that. So a couple days, right? But what's going to happen, though, because an interesting thing, I know I've said I'm done, but hold on. Okay, relax. Okay, fuck it. I'll just keep going. Trump, right, did say on several occasions, we're going to, quote unquote, take care of everybody. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Because I don't know how to interpret that. I just don't. We're going to take care of everybody. Nobody's going to die. We're going to take care of everybody, right? We're going to do some unbelievable negotiations with the pharmaceutical companies. Okay, we're going to just renegotiate it all. We're going to do a whole new system, right? He might call it something different. Might end up being Obamacare 2.0, all right? Trump care, right? Trump care, imagine that, right? But what does that mean? It sounds like universal health care to me, right? And what strikes me was when Donald Trump was arguing this in the debates, and Ted Cruz kept asking him, Donald, what do you mean by that? Like, who's going to pay for taking care of all these people? And Donald Trump never answered that, right? All he said was, we're going to get rid of the lines, all the lines, in other words, the state lines, and just let them all negotiate, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know what that might help a little bit, to be honest, but I don't think it's going to make a big difference. It's not going to get everybody covered like he claims. So could you imagine if Donald Trump implements universal health care? Could you just imagine? Could it happen? Well, don't say no. Don't say no, right? Let me tell you why. Trade deals like NAFTA, Republicans are trying to pass shit like that forever, right? Because their fucking donors wanted to ship the fucking jobs out of this country. Okay? And since the days of the FDR, I mean, the worker unions, all that, they were supporting the Democrats, right? When Bill Clinton came in, he was able to implement that, what George H.W. Bush could only in his wet dreams wish he could implement, right? Only in his wet dreams, right? Bill Clinton got it done, right? Is it possible that Donald Trump is just posing like somebody, but he's actually going to do more progressive things than Barack Obama? Is that possible? Like, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I don't know, right? Donald Trump, in many times in his adult life, has hinted into something like universal health care, right? What if Donald Trump, let's say there's some mass shooting or something, right? And says, we got to be smart, we got to pass something, we got to be smart, I'm going to negotiate the best, gun laws or whatever, right? Is it possible you could pass comprehensive gun legislation, okay, that Democrats could only dream of doing, right? Is that possible? Where he'll be given a pass because, well, he's not doing it to repeal the Second Amendment like Obama was. You know what I mean? So they'll be able to do it, right? So it's a funny way how politics works, but it's possible, right? So this is going to be unpredictable, right? It just is. I know for a while, the percentage of Trump supporters that are very vile and shit like that, I mean, they're going to be on this like forever, right? I mean, I get it. Okay. They're celebrating. They're ecstatic. Hey, their guy won. I'm not saying they don't have a right to be excited and all that. But all I'm saying is, I mean, they are super excited about this. I mean, they are, just up in arms. Not literally, but just saying, right? So it's going to be very, very interesting how everything plays out. Okay? Because let me tell you this right now. If jobs don't come back from China and Mexico, if he passes some form of healthcare law or something like anything close to universal healthcare, if he doesn't do certain things that his base, I'm talking about his base, the ones that got into the primaries, are expecting him to do, I just don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if a Republican incumbent, if a Republican challenges the incumbent in 2020. I wouldn't be shocked, right? And how strange would it be if Because right now, Donald Trump, right? He's elected. Republican Senate, Republican House, right? What if he doesn't get along with his own Senate and his own House? I don't even know. A lot of the donors of these same senators and congressmen, all that, do not like Donald Trump. So I don't know what's going to happen. Well, that's it. I need to go to bed. Right? It's a wrap. Okay. Look at this shit. I'm still seeing. Look at these Clinton supporters still chanting, "Yes, we can." What the fuck are you talking about? No, you can't. Like, no, you cannot. Actually, you need to go to bed. You need to go to sleep. Laters. Anyway, guys, I'm out.